Well, since we broke the 6S EXB the last round, decided to pull out another platform to throw a few combos in and see how they do while we wait on the new dog bone. I guess it popped out, landed in the field somewhere, and for the life of me, I couldn't find it. So while we wait on that, I figured we'd just start something else. So we'll unwrap the EXB Mojave. Start with this guy here. We're gonna put a savox 1211 SG in it, which is 0.08 for speed and 347 for torque. I'm more of a fan of the speed servos over the torque servos, especially for this with the small tires. And then I think we're gonna start with the Mama Monster X ESC and the 1515 2200 kV combo for this guy. Should be pretty good in this one. Well, let's unwrap it and get to work. Well, that's no good. Instantly the Velcro came off the body. And piece that back on there real quick. Hopefully it sticks the second time around. On both sides. That probably won't last long. Put that off to the side for now. Alright. Well, already I know this has to go, because this should be 23 tooth usually for the newer ones that say Spectrum on them. And then the savox servo's a 25 tooth, so we'll see what it says. It doesn't have any markings on it. Well, let's just pull the servo out real quick and see if it's even going to work with that arm. That would be a no. So all the earlier ones are all 25 tooth spline. For some reason or another, this one's a 23 tooth. I don't know, all my Creighton EXBs are all, they have the older 25 tooth spline, so I don't know. Let's see if I have another one of those floating around, because that'll change everything. I'm sure I do somewhere. I just have to find it. Oh, these parts bins full of stuff. plastic one. Nobody wants that. Now, of course, there's another Spectrum one that we don't need. Let's see. I might not actually have one. Surprising. Well, looks like we gotta do some thievery for right now and take one off of one of these other older trucks. Let's see, what do we got? One that's open. Oh, take it off this. So I think this is like a V. I'm gonna say V3 tire. Doesn't have the chassis brace. So imagine that's what this is. I think this just has one of those cheap Amazon 25K servos in it. So we'll just steal this horn off of here for the moment. Until I feel like looking through all the bins and finding the correct one. Alright, so that problem is solved for now. It's ready to go. Put this back. We're all set there. All right. So pop this ESC tray out, get that going. Should just be a couple of 2mm screws. Oh, that's two. What do we got going on? Yeah, that's right. pull out the motor mount while we're here. Get that ready to go. So we have that set up for our motor. Put this away for the moment. This is roughly the same size as the Firma 150, and pretty close, same size. So you'll be able to fit it on this tray without too much of a problem. Two for that. Take these screws out. We won't be reusing these and go off the side. What am I doing? This is already in the gun. I always get rid of this little wire holder too, because they're not going to go that direction. They're going to go right up over the top. So put that down here in the drawer with the rest of them. All right. This faces forward, so what we're going to end up doing is just getting some double-sided tape and sliding that just like that. Now I'm doing a lot of testing with these. That's basically what this is for the moment, so I'm just going to double-side tape it down so it's not permanent, but it ain't going to go anywhere. A big huge roll of double-sided tape. I think I got this off of probably Amazon or something. Give this a quick wipe down. Just throw a couple layers of this on real fast. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's not going to be on there long. Just rub that in real good. We'll add another row to the other side. Trim this little bit of extra just for the fun of it. Alright. We'll make sure we're facing the right way. Bullets for the motor towards the ridge. We'll just set that guy on there just like that. I like the double-sided tape because it gives it that nice little bit of cushion. See how much flex that stuff's got. We'll take our receiver wire, give it a little space here. These things are usually pretty tight, so you can't slide it under there without nicking the wire. I suggest just getting a little flathead, just lifting up that edge so you're not getting your wires pinched, and just slide around in there. I'll leave this out in case I have to do it for the other one. See, it tries to curl up on you right there. Try to flatten it out, and then slide it right up underneath the second one. So there we go. So this is ready to go back into the Mojave. Pretty much ready to go. And actually, we could take another piece of, and we put it back in. I usually double side this right to the side of the chassis guards, so to just loop back around, and it'll be somewhere in this area here. I haven't had one fall off doing that yet, and I've used them pretty good, so that's how we're going to do the same one. So then it makes it nice and easy to change this out, since pretty much all these cars have the same ESC mount. Well, that one slid out already. Slide that right back in there. Try to push her down a little bit, get her closed up. There we go. It's nice and flat. Like I was saying, since all these have the same ESC mount, while I'm doing my testing, I can just take this whole loaded brick out and put it right into another chassis without having to do anything crazy. And then the same thing with the motor also. So once I put this mount on, we'll just leave it on there, and then we can swap the whole mount and everything out into whatever chassis we're testing next. So I grabbed my bag that came with it, and for some reason I don't see motor mount screws or a pinion, which is surprising. I know my EXP Creightons both came with it, so I don't know, maybe they just forgot it, or this one didn't come with it. I have no idea, but it's not in the package for sure. So we'll have to dig out some motor mount screws here. Let's see, what do we got? Come over here. These things are always handy to have, the little boxes of you know, all the different screws. And let's see if we got something that'll fit here. Definitely got to be careful, because you don't want to go too far into the front of the can, then you'll start hitting the inside there. Definitely not good. Those are all the wrong size. Let's see here. So this will be the right size, we just need a longer ones. So those M4s. So I gotta find some of these that are longer. So these little short guys definitely ain't gonna one thread, that ain't good enough. Let's see what I can dig up here. Apparently I gotta order another one of these kits, because I keep using all the same screws. There. Thanks, arrma, for not giving me the screws. Let's see here. These might be a bit too long. I think these are actually the from when you run the stock diff housing. These, every time I put a RPM bumper on, it comes with a longer one, so I have a crap ton of these regular stock ones that I take out. It should be perfect for what we're trying to do here. Yep. Here's two that are a touch shorter. Let's see how they measure up. It should be about perfect. Now normally you'd Loctite these, but since I'm going to be changing these in and out all the time until the testing's done, I'm not going to do that just yet. Once I get the setups the way I want them, then I'll tear everything back apart, Loctite it all up, and so this is the top. Then on my other ones I have the wires facing straight up. So on this one it's going to be a little bit over off to the side. So we're actually going to run it just like that. So it's just off to one side by a touch. Run that one in there. Start this second one. Ah, there's our other hole. There we go. Alright, still spins. No noise, so we didn't go deep enough to hit anything. So I think we're gonna start off with this 15 tooth. It might be a little much for this. We might have to go down a couple, but we'll find out pretty quick, I would imagine. So we're just gonna set that right there. It's gonna be somewhere in the ballpark. So now we're ready to put the combo into the chassis. Everything's ready to go. Well, it actually fits without having to. Well, maybe does it fit without taking the guards off? Ooh, possibly. No, I think the little hump's getting us. Yeah, I'm gonna take those guards off, loosen them up, slide it out of the way real quick. That might be enough. We'll just take the one more out just to be safe. Alright. Yeah, more than enough room now. A little better. There. So we're ready to slide this guy in here. Should have more than enough space now. Yeah, just like that. Don't need you anymore. You can go back. while this is all still loose and everything's loose, we're just going to set this pinion up just in right there. Yeah, of course, I went back a little too far. All right, tighten it up there. That shaft's got a lot of movement. Wow. All right. Like I said before, normally you would Loctite that, but I'm sure it's going to get changed. I'm sure 15 is probably a bit too much for this, but we're going to try it. Get these ran down. So I really don't have a secret for this. I just run it all the way in, back it off a touch. Make sure I got that nice sound of just a touch of a jiggle. Lock one of them down, check the jiggle again. Sounds good to me. I'll lock the second one down. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now we can go ahead and put the EFC in there. The wires all ran. And I do like taking mine and putting it underneath the brace. So it goes under the drive, under the dog bone, and then back up. You can pretty much put them however you want. That's just how I do it. Sometimes a little tight to get onto this other side. We'll pull that right up like that. There we go. Get this set in there where it needs to be. Something like that. And we'll grab our 2mm, start running these screws back in. Drill some in. There we go. There we go. Oh, where's our holes? Where's our holes? There we go. And a couple threads, grab the next one. That takes care of that. That's sitting in there. We can throw this guard back in place over here. So now we got all those started. Oh, barely popped one out. Wonderful. I'm gonna find that now. Ah, that's easy enough. There it is. Guess it wasn't in as many threads as I thought. Damn it. Grab a little guy here. Run these in nice and easy. Stop just before they bottom out. Check our ESC wires, make sure they're still under there we need to be before we tighten that down. Looks good. Go ahead and finish them up by hand. Alright. So that's our combo installed. So pretty much all we got to do now is put the receiver and the servo in it. Should be ready to go. Now, last couple times I put these savox servos in it, I actually had to pop the case off and then put the bottom half of the servo underneath the mount and then put the top half back on it and tighten it all back up, because the thickness of this with the wire here was pinching the end of the wire, so you couldn't physically put it through the mount from the top. I'm sure that's probably going to be the case again this time, so pull this apart real quick and check it and see if we're going to have the same issue. broke loose. Put the 2.5 under his gun here. That's the one we want. This thing pulled off. Oh wow. There she comes a little bit. Come on. Aim at that. That's tight. There we go. Got her off of there. Alright, so they had it so that the longer nose part faced the front of the vehicle. Alright. Put this down for now. Yeah, they really screwed up. They got 2 washers on that one. Yeah, they're stuck together for sure. So now I go back to our longer part faced forward, and on this particular truck, servo horn faces forward also. Let's see if we can get this in here without messing up the wires or taking the top off. Oh, no, don't think it's gonna go. Let's see, it already started to pinch the wires just a little bit. So it's gonna be the same as the other one. I'm gonna have to pull the case apart. Hopefully this time I can find the right little tiny Phillips screwdriver that'll work. Last time I did this, it's kind of a pain. The little toolkit that I got didn't come with a Phillips that was good enough to fit in here. So I brought home this little kit from work to see if we got something that might bite better. It's got a chance. We'll see here. See if this does it. Super tiny Phillips screwdriver. That seems to bite it pretty well. I'm just going to loosen these up because these are going to be the last 2 that I pull out. I want to keep all the gears intact without moving them at all. If I remember correctly, on this particular servo, it's just the outer 4 that you have to take out to take the top off. You can see by how long they are that they go all the way through the case. Pretty sure these two here in the middle don't. It's just the 4 outers. So I don't know why they couldn't make that thing just a touch bigger so you can actually get this servo to fit through there. I don't know. Maybe it's the aluminum case versus the aluminum horn, the aluminum mount, who knows. Now we're going to finish pulling these top 2 off. Alright. So now we got the top 2 off. 4 perimeter ones across the bottom. You can just take this and just slowly jiggle it. And you don't really want to move the gears if at all possible. They all stayed intact. That's kind of what you want, so you don't have to fight it to put it back together. You can just slide this right back on top of it. So we got the 2 pieces there. We can take this, set this off to the side. So now we got to mount this to that. And then we'll just put the rest of the servo back up from underneath, and then that won't mess up our wires at all. And grab the little grommets out of the little package here. Need those. Alright, so we're going to slide our grommets in. Alright. So now we got all 4 of our grommets in there. They come with these little, you'd call them inserts, so you don't tighten the screw too tight and break anything. Now some of these, your factory screws don't fit through. Some of them they do. In this particular case, it actually fits through, so we're good there. But you always want to check that to make sure it actually fits through there. So now we can slide these guys in. Oh, that's not good. Oh, found it. Yay. I had a real good chance of getting lost. That one just does not want to go in there. There it goes. There it goes. Alright, so now we're set. Then it gives you these little spacer blocks so you can set how high you want your servo. Make sure it's not smacking into the chassis. I think it's a real tiny thin one, and then there's one that's just a touch thicker that's marked number 2. Pretty sure it's actually both of these for this particular setup. That's how it was on the other one. So we're going to start all this together. Get all these different pieces lined up. Oh, we dropped one. Take that back out. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, now we get a couple threads into that one. A couple threads into the next one. Make sure all the pieces are lined up. Yeah, we lost a passenger again. There we go. Alright, so I got a couple threads on both of them so far. See how pretty tall that is? I mean, it's going to go down a little bit when you start crushing that rubber a little bit. Put the 2 in on the other side. Alright, a couple threads into that one. And a couple threads into that one. So now we can take this whole unit and slide it right back over our servo. Just like that. So now it's all pieced back together. And we didn't damage our wires trying to push it through there. Took a few extra minutes, but it's well worth not messing up the servo wires for sure. Got our 2 little short screws that go into the top. Throw those in to hold it together. Alright. Throw 4 perimeter screws back in it. Alright, now we're all together. There we go. Now you do have little hexes across the bottom. So when you go to set this back down, you got to make sure you line up all the little hexes. Tighten up our screws. Alright. Servo complete. Get rid of some of this extra stuff we don't need anymore for right now. Somewhere I have a servo drawer. I think it's actually up here. Yep, there it is. There's all the servo stuff. There you go. These are always good boxes to keep for stuff. Chuck that back in there. This off to the side. That's the 1/5 scale servo for the 8S EXB when we get around to doing that. And got 800 and two 1100s to test that truck also. This wraps around, goes like this. We're gonna have to swap that out real fast. The servo is gonna sit in there like that. What I normally like to do is actually take the, stay up there for a second. So you got all this extra wire here, is I usually take it and actually wrap it around the servo itself. Like that. And then that'll sit right in between those hexes and hold it in place. And then this will come right out, right by the receiver box. And then that takes up a lot of your slack and keeps it nice and tight and keeps it away from the dog bone. I'm going to take this whole unit like this. Run our wire under the dog bone, under the chassis brace, up next to the ESC wires. Just like that. Make sure we got it here. We'll take this, gently make sure our wire's not touching our mounts. Just slide her back down in there. I'll slide back down on there. Try this one more time. If it doesn't work, we'll have to loosen the posts up, and hopefully they come loose without causing any issues. A lot of times they strip. Come through there. The hardest part of this whole build, doing the wiring. There we go. That's the sound we were looking for. Alright, she's set down. All right, we got her after a little bit of a fight. There we go. Now, you really can't see it very well, but I got the servo wire right in between the servo and the posts, and I really can't see it. So that keeps that wire away from everything, and then when you go put it underneath the brace and the dog bone and put it in the receiver box, a little foam will keep it in place and it keep it out of the way of any of the rotating parts, so you don't have to worry about it getting damaged. Put our screws back in that. Let's see, I think these were 2.5s. Yeah. That's all set up now, ready to go. Now we got to do is take the Spectrum labeled servo horn off and put the V4 / Creighton EXB 25-2 servo horn on it. Wow, she got a little rough spot in it. Mesh is good all the way around. So. A little running. Yeah, swapping the servo horn. All right. This is, we got here 2.5. 2. Oh, one of the big can fell over. These are big old monster motors. Off with the old, or off with the new, on with the old. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they ran out of the old school ones or something, I don't know. Still kind of upset that they didn't give me the pinion or the screws. But what are you gonna do? Alright, so that's swapped over, we're ready to go for that. Alright, so we got the Mama Monster X in there, the 1515 2200 kV motor, and then the Savox 1211 SG Black Edition servo put in there. This video is already pretty long, it's over an hour already, so we're going to call it here, and then we'll reconvene next video to finish it up, finish running all the electric, and then programming the Spectrum 6100 receiver. Then should be all ready to go for testing. I'm going to take it out and do some mile per hour testing, some temps, and see if that 15 is going to be good or if we're going to have to drop it down some. Like I said, the testing we're doing right now is strictly motor and ESC. We're not doing any fans, no upgrades whatsoever. It's just what the motors and the ESCs can do.